Tantelwisid wegwisid niskam, ouchit niskam, juli niskam. Creator, we ask in reverence to hear our prayers as we gather to honor the women that have left us before their time due to violence. We also pray for our families today, that the struggle of violence would come to an end in our communities and throughout the world. We ask, Creator, that you bless this site where we will come to pray and just talk with our sisters, our brothers who fell victim to violence. We ask for your guidance as we sit in silence, reflecting in our very souls and spirits for the loss of our loved ones. We seek your comfort, Creator, as we think of the memories we hold dear in our hearts of them. Keep us strong if a tear should trickle down our cheeks. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
As leaders and officers, it is our responsibility to ensure that our community is a safe and secure place to live for women and for all. Indigenous women in Canada make up only 5% of the population, but are nearly 25% of all the female homicide victims. This is a statistic that is hard to understand, and it needs to change. Indigenous women are 7 times more likely to go missing than women of other ethnic backgrounds. Mi'kmaq culture is a matriarchal culture. Women are sacred, and so should be treated as such. Women are life givers. They are also knowledge keepers and some of our most loved and respected elders. Throughout their lives, from young girls to elders, their contributions to our communities are unmatched. Red Dress Park is a place where victims' families and loved ones can come together and honor those we've lost. It can also serve as an educational space for all, a place where we can learn the hard truths of the red dress and how we must work to change the future. Once again, I want to thank those who made this park possible. We are grateful for your compassion.
I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the Cape Breton Regional Police Service for this opening ceremony of Red Dress Park, this very important space here at the site of our police building. Red Dress Park is a place for the community to visit and share cultural connection and to reflect in honor and memory of the many missing and murdered Indigenous women, children, and men. I believe this is the first park of its kind in Canada to be located at a police facility, which we hope demonstrates our ongoing commitment to the rights of Indigenous peoples to be and feel safe. And that this park is a symbol of our commitment to work with the community to make sure that no others go missing.
I want to congratulate everyone for making this happen. It took a lot of people over a lot of time to be able to have this today. Quite often in my travels, I'm asked, how come reconciliation is so slow? Where is it happening? Why aren't people coming together? And they're frustrated over the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report. And then as I was listening to Chief Terry speaking and Chief Walsh, it struck me that reconciliation has happened and is happening here. We think nothing of it for us to work together, for us in the municipality, for us in the regional police, for people here in Membertou, for our elders, for our women. We just naturally come together, and we have no problem in coming together in things and making them happen. So I'd like to say that here in Membertou and here in the CBRM, there is reconciliation, and it has been happening for a while, because this wouldn't have happened if our hearts went together for many years. So I celebrate the park, what it means. I'm grateful that we have a place now to come to remember those who are missing and murdered. But it's also, for me, a very powerful proof to other Canadians that we in the CBRM and we in Membertou, we know what reconciliation means. It means coming together and being neighbors.
Part of the result of our commemoration was the peaked cap, and the Women of First Light have dedicated, in honor of people like Sarah Denny, work to help bring back the women and boys' traditional knowledge and ceremonies and ways of the Mi'kmaq, because there's a lot of confusion about what our traditional ways were. We've been helped and supported so long to help relearn our ways. But we felt to strengthen the women and the boys, they really need to know who we are, what's our identity, so that this little girl here can be raised knowing that one day when she comes of age, she will receive a peaked cap. And the peaked cap is part of this project for so many reasons, and this is part of it. The coloring book of peaked caps made by the families of the missing and murdered Indigenous women. And 5 communities have been working on these peaked caps to honor their family members. And so you all who are here today get a copy of this, but I would like this, if she doesn't mind, if she could come up, I don't know her name, if she could come up and get our first book. It's a coloring book, so it's not hard. Yo, come on up.
I know. Thank you so much. That's great. Thank you.
What's your name?
Emily.
Emily. So Emily gets the first coloring book, and if you're all good, you can get your coloring book from Karen. Karen has them. So we brought some, and this is part of the project. We brought the families together. They have guided us and told us what they want, how they want, and so the benches are part of our contribution to this amazing project, and it came from the funding, so it was the benches to have a permanent commemoration in a community to remember those that have gone before us, to remind us all that we have a lot of work to do to change the statistics that Chief Terry has spoken to us about, and to help young girls to know who they are. And the peaked cap has so much beautiful teachings in it, and so that's all part of it. Bringing the families said this is what they want. We did what they wanted, almost, and today is like the culmination of a lot of love. And so thanks to Ishbel Monroe, our coordinator for the Women of First Light.
It was an honor to be part of this project. There's a personal passion I have, and I do a lot of advocacy work in this province and actually right across the country now. So I'm actually National Indigenous Change Lab Coordinator for Women of First Light and Right and Relations. The advocacy work I do will never stop. I am no longer working for anybody in the office 9 to 5, but I do a lot of collaboration. So the day I decided I didn't want to work anymore, I had to come to Membertou first. And I had to knock on the door of this wonderful man here to let him know, hey, Barry, I am no longer working for anybody, and I'm excited about it. And he says, Karen, we're doing a project. We have some funding dollars to do this park he talked about. I said, you know what? I have some funded dollars too, because I'm also working with Women of First Light on the Peak Cap project, which Kathy mentioned, that was about the families coming together, creating a design that symbolizes their loved one. We didn't have a lot of people that could do them because some of them couldn't do it yet. It hurt too much to decide what they wanted to work on. But at some point I did tell those family members, I'm always going to be here. Anytime you decide that you want to do this, then you call me and we'll start it. Some of the caps haven't been completed yet, but they are on their way to being completed. Thank you.
The most important thing we got to remember about this park, this is to make our country aware what has happened. This is to make our country aware this must never happen, and we must continue to work. This is about women, it's about children, boys and girls, it's about men, it's about mothers, it's about sisters, all the ones that were affected, and the families that are still living with what happened. And this park will be a place to reflect and to remind the community, lest we not forget. And that's the most important thing that the elders wanted to communicate. The writings of Jane Meador were just beautiful. What she's scribed in there, it came from the heart, and it covers all the people that are affected.
Making the cap, to me, like, I knew what I wanted to do because I seen it. So with my cap, I have like a feather on it, and then I have the red ribbon going around my feather. That represents my sister. And I said, this here is in memory of her. And I would wear that hat proudly whenever I get it done.
So coming together, how was that for you?
It was very comforting. You know, my sister Shirley was there, and, you know, she had a little rough time, and, you know, I was glad I was there for her. And then here in, like, my cousin Sharon, she was there for her mom, and, you know, and there was a few other people, and having them there and hearing their stories, it just brought you more closer, like becoming a family member.